You think the only money you lose is what you see on the pump? Think again. Every day, small habits, silent mistakes, and even gas station tricks quietly steal money from drivers, without them ever noticing. Today, I'm exposing 17 fuel-saving secrets most people never learn, and secret number 5 alone can save you over $1,000 every single year. Pay close attention, because after this video, you'll never fill your tank the same way again. Secret 17. The short shift advantage. Most drivers let the engine rev higher than it needs to. It feels normal, it sounds powerful, but it quietly wastes fuel. Gasoline engines are most efficient at low to mid RPM, where internal friction and pumping losses are minimal. Every time you rev higher than necessary, especially during normal acceleration, you burn extra fuel without gaining useful performance. Modern engines produce enough torque at surprisingly low RPM. That means you don't need to push the engine to move efficiently. Short shifting, upshifting a little earlier during gentle acceleration, keeps the engine in its efficiency sweet spot. Fuel flow drops, friction decreases, and MPG improves immediately. This applies to both manual and automatic vehicles. In automatics, lighter throttle input encourages earlier upshifts. In manuals, shifting sooner during everyday driving reduces fuel burn without affecting drivability. Racing the RPMs feels faster, but calm acceleration is what actually saves fuel. Secret 16. The alignment drag you can't see. Your car can be perfectly maintained and still fight itself every mile. Wheel alignment affects how your tires contact the road. When alignment is even slightly off, tires don't roll freely, they scrub. That creates constant resistance the engine must overcome. The result? Higher fuel consumption, uneven tire wear, and reduced stability, all happening silently. What makes this dangerous is that misalignment often doesn't feel dramatic. The steering may seem fine, and the car still drives straight enough, but underneath, rolling resistance increases non-stop. Potholes, curbs, speed bumps, and worn suspension components slowly knock alignment out of spec. Over time, MPG drops without any obvious warning. A proper alignment restores efficient rolling, reduces drag, and can recover lost fuel economy immediately, while also extending tire life. It's one of the most overlooked fuel-saving fixes because drivers rarely connect tire wear or steering feel to fuel consumption. Secret 15. The premium fuel myth. It sounds convincing. Premium fuel feels safer, smarter, better for your car. Higher octane must mean higher quality, right? Not exactly. Octane doesn't mean cleaner fuel, more power, or better mileage. It simply measures how resistant the fuel is to engine knock. That's it. If your engine isn't specifically designed for premium, that extra octane does nothing. No performance boost, no efficiency gain, no hidden protection. Yet millions of drivers keep paying more, believing they're doing their car a favor. In reality, they're buying the same results at a higher price, sometimes even worse. Modern engines are tuned very precisely. If they're built for regular fuel, the computer won't magically reward you for spending extra. The burn doesn't improve. The mileage doesn't rise. Gas stations love premium because the profit margin is higher. But unless your owner's manual clearly demands it, premium fuel is just a more expensive habit, not a smarter one. Secret 14. The fast pump loss. Most people squeeze the pump handle all the way down. They think faster pumping saves time, but it quietly costs you fuel. When gasoline rushes through the nozzle at full speed, it creates turbulence. That turbulence pulls air into the fuel, forming tiny vapor bubbles. Here's the problem. Fuel pumps charge by volume, not by how much usable fuel actually ends up in your tank. Those air pockets get counted. You pay for them. But once inside your tank, the bubbles collapse and disappear, meaning part of what you paid for never becomes real fuel. Independent tests have shown that aggressive pumping can reduce actual fuel delivery by several % over time. That loss doesn't feel dramatic, but over a year, it can equal an entire tank of gas. Slow the flow, and the fuel enters cooler, denser, and more accurately measured. It takes only a few extra seconds. Gas stations won't suggest it. Fast pumping keeps lines moving and profits high. But for drivers, easing off the handle is one of the simplest fuel-saving habits there is. Secret 13. The half-tank habit that burns money. Most drivers think they're being smart. They wait until the fuel gauge is almost empty, then fill up. But that habit quietly costs you more than you realize. Modern fuel systems rely on gasoline itself to cool the fuel pump. When you constantly drive on a near-empty tank, the pump runs hotter and works harder. Over time, efficiency drops, and repairs become inevitable. But there's another hidden loss. When fuel levels stay low, the pump has to draw harder to maintain pressure. That extra strain slightly increases fuel consumption during normal driving, especially in hot weather and stop-and-go traffic. Keeping your tank above a quarter full reduces pump stress, stabilizes fuel delivery, and helps the system operate at peak efficiency. The difference is subtle, but over months of driving, it adds up. Manufacturers design fuel systems to operate most efficiently when they're not starving for fuel. Running on fumes might feel economical, but it's one of the easiest ways to lose money slowly. The smarter move? Refill earlier, not later, and let your fuel system work with you, not against you. Secret 12. The time of day distraction. You've probably heard the advice, fill up early in the morning, fuel is denser when it's cool. It sounds scientific, but at modern gas stations, it barely makes a difference. Fuel is stored deep underground, where temperatures stay stable all day. Morning, afternoon, or night, the density change is so tiny it won't meaningfully affect how much energy you get. But here's what does impact your mileage, and almost nobody talks about it. Seasonal fuel blends. In colder months, gasoline is formulated to ignite more easily. That helps engines start, but it also means less energy per gallon. That's why MPG often drops in winter, even if your driving habits never change. When summer blends arrive, energy content rises, and suddenly fuel economy improves on its own. Stations don't explain this because it exposes why mileage fluctuates beyond your control. Once you understand that, you stop chasing timing myths and start focusing on real savings. Secret 11. The silent airflow drain. Most drivers don't think about the engine air filter. It's cheap, hidden, easy to forget. And that's exactly why it quietly wastes fuel. Engines need a precise balance of air and fuel. When the air filter clogs with dust and debris, airflow drops. To compensate, the engine injects more fuel to maintain power. That richer mixture means lower MPG, higher consumption, and unnecessary wear, all without triggering a warning light. What makes this worse is neglect. Many drivers go tens of thousands of miles without checking the filter, especially in dusty areas or heavy traffic where buildup happens fast. The result? You burn extra fuel every mile and never realize why. Gas stations benefit quietly. They sell more fuel while the fix takes less than a minute. Pull the filter out. Hold it toward light. If light barely passes through, your mileage already is. Secret 10. The accuracy gap. This one is easy to miss, which is why it works so well. Fuel pumps aren't perfectly precise forever. Internal parts wear, valves loosen, flow sensors drift, and over time, accuracy slips quietly. Here's the part most drivers never hear. Pumps are legally allowed to operate within a tolerance range until their next inspection. That means a pump can deliver slightly less fuel than expected and still pass regulations. Inspection records show that every year, a percentage of pumps fail accuracy checks. And when they do, the shortage almost always comes from the customer's side. Older stations and low-use pumps are the biggest risk. They're inspected less often, maintained unevenly, and rarely questioned because the loss per fill-up feels small. Protect yourself by checking the inspection sticker. Avoid pumps that look neglected or outdated. Clean, modern stations with visible compliance tags are far less likely to short you. And if this already changes how you think about fueling, stay focused, because what's coming next matters even more. Secret 9. The rolling resistance problem. If you want instant fuel savings, don't buy additives. Start with your tires. Even slightly underinflated tires increase rolling resistance. That means your engine has to work harder just to keep the car moving, and that extra effort burns fuel every second you drive. Most drivers are running their tires below ideal pressure without realizing it. Here's the part almost nobody mentions. The pressure listed on your door frame is designed for safety and comfort when the vehicle is fully loaded. But most of the time, you're not carrying full passengers or heavy cargo. In everyday driving, running a few PSI higher within safe limits can reduce drag, improve tire wear, and raise MPG almost immediately. Low pressure does the opposite. It drags the vehicle, wastes fuel, and shortens tire life at the same time. Check tire pressure regularly, especially when seasons change. Few adjustments deliver faster results per gallon than this one. And now, let's talk about a habit that ruins fuel economy before your engine even has a chance to be efficient. Secret 8. The cold start drain. Short trips feel harmless, but for fuel efficiency, they're some of the worst drives you can make. Engines are least efficient when cold. Until they reach full operating temperature, they burn extra fuel just to run smoothly. If most of your driving is made up of quick errands, store runs, school drop-offs, short commutes, you spend nearly all your time in this wasteful phase. The catalytic converter also needs heat to work properly. Until it warms up, efficiency drops further and fuel usage climbs. This is why two identical vehicles can show very different MPG numbers. One does long, steady drives. The other restarts cold over and over again. Gas stations understand this pattern well. Cold starts bring customers back sooner. Combine trips when possible. Reduce unnecessary starts. Let the engine fully warm up. These small changes dramatically reduce fuel loss on short drives. Secret 7. The wrong oil penalty. Engine oil doesn't just protect parts. It directly affects fuel efficiency. When oil is thicker than recommended, internal components face more resistance. The engine has to push harder just to operate normally, and that effort turns into higher fuel consumption. Cold starts make this even worse. Thick oil flows slowly during the exact moment engines are already least efficient. But going too thin isn't the solution either. That sacrifices protection and increases wear under heat and load. That's why manufacturers specify oil viscosity so precisely. It's engineered to balance efficiency, protection, and climate conditions. Stick to the recommended grade and choose the version suited for your environment. The right oil reduces friction, improves MPG, and protects your engine long-term. And coming up next, we're revealing something hiding inside your vehicle that adds weight you don't even realize you're paying to move. Secret 6. The hidden weight tax. Your car could be wasting fuel every single day without any warning light to tell you why. Extra weight forces your engine to work harder with every acceleration. Even small amounts reduce efficiency, and the loss compounds the longer that weight stays in the vehicle. The real problem is how quietly it builds up. Old tools, unused gear, boxes you meant to remove months ago. They sit there mile after mile, stealing MPG without you noticing. Roof racks and cargo carriers are even worse. Left installed, they don't just add weight, they disrupt airflow. Even when empty, they can significantly cut fuel economy, especially at highway speeds. Fuel stations never mention this. A lighter car needs fewer fill-ups. Clear out what you don't use. Remove unused racks. Strip the vehicle down to what you actually need. It costs nothing, and the savings start immediately. Secret 5. The vapor leak nobody checks. Almost no one thinks about the gas cap, and that's exactly why it causes problems. A loose, cracked, or worn cap allows fuel vapors to escape. When that happens, your vehicle's emission system has to compensate, often by adjusting the fuel mixture behind the scenes. Even minor vapor leaks force the system to work harder, slowly increasing fuel consumption over time. In many cases, they also trigger check engine lights that drivers ignore or misunderstand. This issue is far more common than people realize. A damaged seal or a cap that doesn't lock properly is enough to affect efficiency. The fix takes seconds. Tighten the cap until it clicks. Replace it if the seal looks worn. It's inexpensive, and it restores the system to how it was designed to work. And next, we're breaking down a debate every driver has heard, but almost everyone gets wrong. Secret 4. AC or windows? The real answer. You've probably been told that turning off the AC always saves fuel. That's only half the truth. At low speeds, city streets, traffic, neighborhood driving, air conditioning adds load to the engine and can reduce efficiency. In these conditions, windows down usually makes sense. But at highway speeds, open windows create aerodynamic drag. That drag forces the engine to fight air resistance, often wasting more fuel than the AC would use. The smart approach is balance. Windows down at lower speeds, AC on when cruising faster. Gas stations never explain this because confusion keeps consumption higher. Once you understand how airflow and engine load work together, your fuel economy improves immediately. And coming up next, we're exposing small components that control your fuel mixture and quietly destroy MPG when they start to fail. Secret 3. When sensors quietly cost you fuel. Modern engines don't run on fixed settings. They constantly adjust fuel delivery using live sensor data. Two of the most critical inputs are the oxygen sensor and the mass airflow sensor. Together, they tell the engine computer how much air is entering the engine and how efficiently fuel is being burned. When an oxygen sensor starts to wear out, it usually doesn't fail suddenly. It becomes slower. That delay causes the engine to play it safe by adding extra fuel, slowly pushing the mixture richer than necessary. MPG drops long before any warning light appears. The mass airflow sensor can create the same problem. Even a light coating of dust or oil can distort airflow readings. When the engine thinks less air is coming in, it compensates by injecting more fuel than needed. What makes this expensive is how gradual it feels. Fuel economy fades over weeks or months, so drivers blame traffic, weather, or fuel quality, never realizing the real cause. Gas stations benefit quietly. Richer mixtures mean more frequent fill-ups. Routine sensor checks, occasional MAF cleaning, and timely replacement of aging sensors can restore lost MPG almost immediately. Secret 2. The idle that drains your wallet. Idling feels harmless because the car isn't moving, but fuel is still being burned every second the engine runs. At idle, engines operate at very low efficiency. Fuel is consumed without producing useful work, and modern engine systems often enrich the mixture to keep the engine running smoothly. Many drivers still believe idling helps warm the engine. In reality, modern engines warm up faster and more efficiently when driven gently. Extended idling delays optimal temperature and increases total fuel use. The loss seems small in short moments, but repeated every day, it adds up fast. Over time, drivers can lose hundreds of dollars a year without ever seeing where it went. Shutting the engine off during longer stops saves fuel instantly and reduces unnecessary engine wear at the same time. Secret 1. Why speed eats fuel. Fuel economy doesn't drop randomly at higher speeds. It follows physics. As speed increases, aerodynamic drag rises exponentially, not gradually. The engine must produce far more power just to push through the air. Most vehicles are engineered to be most efficient at moderate cruising speeds. Beyond that range, fuel consumption climbs sharply, even if the engine feels relaxed. Driving faster doesn't just use more fuel per mile, it shortens the distance you get from every gallon. Even small reductions in cruising speed can produce measurable savings on long trips. This applies to every vehicle, including modern fuel-efficient cars. No engine can escape aerodynamic drag. Gas stations never emphasize this because speed is one of the fastest ways to increase fuel turnover. Those were 17 fuel-saving secrets gas stations hope drivers never piece together. Each one might seem small, but combined, they completely change how efficiently your car uses fuel. If even one tip made you rethink your habits, imagine the impact of using all 17 consistently. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Which secret surprised you the most?